The keyboard overlay app includes a skin gallery where you can pick from 25 skins to personalize your keyboard overlay. If you're looking for more customization, you can upload your own images through the Upload tab of the custom skin. Designing your own graphics can be a daunting task if you haven't done it before. So in this video, I'll show you my process on how I make custom skins for the keyboard overlay. We'll come up with an idea and design it together. Any image editing software works as long as it can export PNG or JPEG files. I'll be using Figma to design my skin since that's what I'm comfortable using. All right, I guess we'll just get into it. So I have Figma open and I have my UV maps, my templates in a Figma file that I've shared on my website and will also be in the description of this video. The keyboard overlay design process. There's 4 components that you can design for your keyboard overlay. They are the base element, which is like the bottom part of the keyboard. And then there's 3 key images. You have your regular key, which is like a square shaped key. And then you have a separate layout for the shift key since it's a little longer. And then the spacebar, which is very long. I don't really have a theme or anything picked out for this design, but I was looking at the Fortnite item shop and there were a couple elements from some of the weapon wraps that I liked, so maybe I'll pick from those. I kind of like that there's like a dark gray repeating pattern and then like maybe a gold accent, so like dark gray and gold, and then some other things that I thought were kind of cool, so maybe we'll throw those in as well. So I know I want like the base element to be kind of like more muted, and then the idle key images to match the base element. And then when you press a hotkey in the active state, it should probably be more brighter or more attention grabbing since that's the dynamic element of the overlay. So I will make a copy of this base element here and make it gray. I can turn off these guides and let's pick a bluish gray. Maybe like that. And then I kind of want like a gradient. So like the outer edges or the bottom of the base element to be darker. And then it slowly like get brighter. I guess I can just turn this off. Or I can use it. It's like a drop shadow element. So maybe color pick and then throw on a drop shadow. Let's see what this looks like. Does this match? Yeah, okay. So right now, let's just export this and upload it to the keyboard overlay to preview it. From the app, add the app settings, skin gallery, custom, upload, base, add photo. So what does this look like? Not really noticeable. I think I need to make it brighter. Brighter gray. There is a limitation with Figma's drop shadow. You can only set a maximum of 250 pixels. So what I want to do is maybe scale this down from 4K to half the resolution. And then when I export it, just double the export image size. Right. Now with this base, this top element, I can double this. Here we go. So I want like a repeating icon or something. All right, I'm gonna go with a star shape since Figma has that already in here. Maybe like soften it up a little bit. Yeah, that might be cool. So if I want, I can actually throw all of these in, duplicate this, group it, use this as a mask. And I kind of want it to be like not as like high contrast or like apparent. So like mute it and make it a gradient. Give it this like inner shadow effect. All right, so I can just tile this by grouping it. What does that look like? Group it again. Might work. And I can repeat this for the left, right, and back sides. I can just duplicate it, drag it up, flip vertically. And this really does not have to be perfect. And group these and make sure it's centered. And then I can just duplicate it again and rotate it. Yeah, that's not gonna work because it's not an even square. That's fine. All right, let me get rid of these elements in the corners just because there's a lot of warping in the corners and I don't want to design for that. So let me turn off the guides, export it, and then see how it looks. And really I should match this color so that it's not darker on the top. Should actually be whatever color this pixel is. Okay, well then this is actually better because everything is brighter and I can change this color. That's what I want. Re-export this and see how it looks. And then go to Skin Gallery, Custom, Base, Add Photo. It's getting there. So I want some kind of like element on the top of the base that goes under all of these keys. I want to make this base element just slightly darker and then maybe use another star for this top element that'll go over everything. We just rotate it. This might be cool. Let me mute these stars just a little bit. There we go. So how do I make this gold? Pick a gold color. I don't know how to make gold. Maybe throw on a inner shadow. I can throw on like a line, make this a mask, throw a line in here. Maybe blur it and play with the transfer mode. There is a really noticeable line in the pattern. Maybe I can just line that up. There we go. And then I want to make this look like it's placed on top. Instead of an inner shadow, I can add a drop shadow. All right, what does this look like? It's kind of interesting. I think it'll work since the key elements will go right on top. What does the metalness look like if I raise it? That's kind of cool. Yeah, I think that is fine. So now I want something to match for the key element. So I will just take these templates, move them over here. The size really doesn't matter because I can export this at 2x resolution. But these are 4K and they don't even need to be 4K because it's going to be placed so small on your stream anyway that the quality of the image doesn't really matter that much. So I will just start copying some of these elements that I have here. All right, so what is this base color? Be this. And I will put it on all of these shapes. Turn off the strokes. I want to add like this gradient. I think I can just do that with an actual gradient. If this can work. Do I want to add any of these stars to the keys as well? I guess so. Maybe like 1 or 2 for each side. I can have it like halfway coming up the bottom of the key. Let's clip the content of this frame. This will work. I'm not gonna put an element on the top here. Turn these off and see what this looks like exported. In the app, I can go to upload, up key. So now I need to remove this like stroke in Figma, and I'd like the key to be a little bit darker at the top, like this top color, so it's a little more muted, and maybe scale down these stars just a little bit. So let's turn this down and then adjust this color in all of the gradients and then scale down. How does it look? Yeah, I kind of want to match a little closer the shape of, or the size of these other stars. So maybe I'll do like 2. One down here, Another up here. And maybe make this top one just like a little more transparent. I'm just gonna copy these. Rotate them, good enough. Flip it. Does that look good enough? I will take these, flip it. Let's just rotate it. All right, what does this look like? Export, upload this. There we go. It's much nicer. I still need to remove this border around the faces of the model. And I think I can just do that by making a stroke on all of these. Make it centered. Yeah, that should help. Cool. So I think this will work pretty well for an idle key. I'm gonna do the same thing I did for the base and raise the metalness and lower the roughness. So what is this at? 25, 75. So now I'll apply this texture to the remaining key components that fit. So the down key, left key, right key, and control key. All right, so now I have to do it for the shift key and the spacebar. So I'm just going to repeat the same process for these top elements. I will do the color, and then for these bottom elements, I will add the gradient. Alrighty, and then I will add some stars. Scale this down. I'll flip it for this one. All right, let's add these stars to the front and backs of the shift and spacebar. All right, let's grab these, group them, duplicate, flip it. I'm just gonna make these elements above these other ones and do the same thing for the spacebar. All right, so I will take this, grab all of these stars again, group them, duplicate it, flip it, throw it up here. How far away is this from the top? All right, let's turn off these text layers and see what it looks like on the keyboard. Metalness to 75-ish, roughness 25-ish. Looks fine. All right, let's add this stroke that I added on the other key. Let's apply it to this as well. And let's turn off the text layers and see what it looks like. All right, looks pretty good. Raise the metalness, bring down the roughness, and apply. And then do the same for the shift key. The stars are a bit bigger here. That's fine. Raise the metalness, lower the roughness. All right, so that's what it looks like for the idle state. Got all matching components. And now I need to make something that maybe has a gold accent for the active components. I can probably just duplicate everything here and then throw another gold star on top of it like I did for the base component. Or actually, I can just make a gold variant of the existing blue-gray design. I will copy these elements over, rename them to active, and just steal some of the gold from this shape. Let's pick the light color. The thing I love about Figma is that you can change the colors of a bunch of elements very quickly. So I want to replace this light gray, this 878998 hex code. So I can actually just do that right here. And then the linear gradients, I want to replace that here as well. All right, and then for the darker blue color, I can just pick the darker gold color in this gradient. Select everything again. But I still want to keep the stars. Maybe I can just make those really dark. All right, I think I have everything selected, so then I can just change the colors of the gradient, be darker, and then the more transparent stars, I will repeat the same process. Maybe make these just a little bit brighter. And since I have everything selected, I can add a drop shadow, but maybe make it white so it's like a glow effect. Yeah, let's export this and see how it looks. Bring up the shininess. I think it works. So I will go down the list and update all of the components really quick. All right, here's how it looks. Pressing the keys so you can see the active state. It turns a little gold, but by itself, it's just like a pretty muted design besides like the big gold star for the base. That's really it for a little walkthrough on how I design some keyboard overlay graphics in Figma. You can really use any design software, even like Blender or Substance Painter, to paint directly on the 3D models that are provided in the Notion file below. You can also make procedural materials in Blender and bake the material as a texture file so that everything is seamless and none of the edges or borders get cut off on any of the components. If you make any custom designs for your keyboard, I'd love to see them. Feel free to send them over Twitter or in the Discord. That's about it.